Hello. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Erica and this is The Love Project. If you are new here, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. This is a channel where we discuss all things love. The love of God, the love in family and marriage and friendship, and you name it. So, if you have not, like, comment, subscribe, be sure to ring that bell so you can get the notifications for when I drop a new video, because guess what? I drop a new video every week. So if you have not, please go watch the old videos, catch up, comment, and just get engaged. And welcome to the Love Crew. So today we will be discussing just doing the work to either, if you're single, get your picker fix, and if you are in a relationship, learning how to extend love to those that you love. And this is in every arena of life. Again, this includes the love of God. This includes being in a marriage, so loving your spouse. This includes loving your children, and this also includes loving your family and your friends. So we're gonna jump right in. One of the main things I would like to discuss is I'm going to challenge y'all today. I'm going to challenge y'all to actually go and do the work after this video is completed by taking a test, which is the 5 love language test. If you have not heard about it, the 5 love language is 5 ways that we as humans associate love, how we give love and how we receive love. And there is an easy way to take the test, but there's also easy ways to just take these little nuggets and be able to figure out how others receive love, therefore expect you, how they expect you to love them. Unfortunately, we don't always communicate love and what we need and how we receive it. But if you do the work, then you will be able to even figure it out just by what they do, how they act, and the different ways that they make sure you love. It may be a sign that I'm doing for you what I would love for you to do for me. So we'll get into those things later. But also, I have a few questions from a questionnaire that I did when I was single that really helped me to do the work and really helped me to kind of dig in to me, my personality, what I like, what I don't like, why I am the way I am. And I was able to ask these questions, answer them honestly and seriously for myself, and then able to use these things to communicate with my now husband, and even communicate with others during the dating process. So I'm going to go over a few of those questions. Also, put the questions out there, let you know some of my answers, and be able to provide you with the questionnaire if you would like to. So there are 5 love languages. One is quality time. So quality time is usually when you are a person that love to be in the presence and spend time with people. Quality time is number one on my list. So an example of that would be with my husband. Literally, I just need to be under him. And I'm sure sometimes it get aggravating for him, but I'm not needy. It's just that I just need to be in his presence. We don't have to talk about anything. We don't have to do anything. But just having his energy in the room is usually good enough for me. Sometimes he can be like watching a show or doing something, and I will just go sit on the sofa, put my feet on him, and take a nap. And he's like, literally, you came down here and laid on the sofa only to go to sleep. That's because I just needed to be in his presence. I really didn't need anything from him in that moment, but just being in the same space with him, in the same room, and being literally in his presence is good enough for me. So, that could be quality time, or you could be a person that, let's say, I don't know, I guess like another thing about quality time would be that when you are together, you're together. So when you're in the company of people, you're there, you're present, right? That is very much me. Like, honestly, if I go to a party or I go somewhere, I will, like, soon as I get there, I'm going to take my pictures, I'm going to do what I need to do, because the minute I settle in, I will forget all about pictures and videos. Like, because I'm there, I'm in the moment. I enjoy quality time, whether it's with my family, whether it's with my husband, whether it's at the church. So I'm very focused Um, as far as like my time and energy when I'm in the presence of a person, because quality time matters to me. So that is the first one. The second one, and again, these things are not in order, but I'm just going in order because it's five total. The second one would be words of affirmation. So words of affirmation are people that require to be affirmed. So words have meaning to you. If someone says something ugly, it most likely will hurt your feelings. If someone says something that's uplifting, it will make you feel good. A person that like words of affirmation usually like cards, and something that is expressive of your thoughts. So a person who like words of affirmation are pretty big on honesty. They're pretty big on compliments. They're pretty big on being acknowledged, whether it's an accomplishment or something, and different things like that. So words of affirmation is another. The third one would be that physical touch. So physical touch is a person who likes affection. And this one is high up on my list also. As I mentioned earlier, when I will go and kind of just be under my husband, I will put my feet on him. Like, it can be as simple as that. I am a person where when you meet me and see me, I'm a hugger. Give me a hug. Literally, I will walk in a room of my family and I'm going to go person by person, hugging them, giving a kiss on the cheek, and just embracing. I'm very much a physical touch person, and because I am that way, I automatically recognize people that's that way. My nephew is like that. Like literally, when he was a baby, and I mean he still is in a sense, but when he was a baby, he always wanted to be on you. He hug you, he give good hugs, and he'll like touch your face and stuff like that. And I'm like, wow. Here he is, a baby, and I already could tell that physical touch is high up on his list. And he love affection, and he just love on you, in just the most affectionate way. So physical touch is another one. The other one would be acts of service. So this will be number four, acts of service. Acts of service is basically where you do a service for a person. You do something to serve the another person. So a good act of service would be like, for instance, if you was to run an errand for a person, like if you're always the type where if you go into somebody's house and you be like, hey, I'm on my way, I was calling to see if you need anything. If you do that naturally, most likely you're an active service person, because literally you're taking the time out to be willing to stop somewhere and grab something for them. You're considering doing a task for them even before you make it to their presence. So that's usually like an implication that a person is an act of service. And or if a person, and I mean, at some point we all feel like our parents is like this, like where they always like, do this, do that, do that, do that. But if you pay attention and there is a effect of that thing you do for a person, then most likely act of service is their love language. So an example of that is, I believe that acts of service is high up on my mom's list, because my mom literally will do anything for us in an act of service room. So my mom, even though she the mom, like she will serve her children. And it actually took this test for me to kind of put two and two together. But my mom would come over my house and she would like, I'll be like, Mom, can you fix me something to eat? She'll go fix me something to eat. Like, you know how usually the mom is telling the child to go do this, go do that. I'll be like, oh my, I gotta go to work Wednesday. You off? Oh yeah, I'm off. Can you go and run here and do this for me? Or can you go do this and do? And she don't mind. Like, I can honestly say I've asked my mama to do multiple things when it comes to errands, or taking care of business, or just doing something on my behalf. And I don't ever remember her saying no. And honestly, she takes joy in it. Like, she'll be like, oh, again, do you need anything? You need me to take care of something for you, or whatever, whatever. So I believe that's really high up on her list. And I say that because she is easily to serve others, that I'm more than sure if she received service in return, that it will mean a lot to her, and it will, you know, pretty much she'll want to receive love in the same manner. And the last, but definitely not least, is gifts. So there are people that love gifts. I'm more than sure we all know somebody that love a good gift. I consider myself a very good gift giver, but gifts are very low on my list. One would assume that it will be high on my list because, again, I take pride in getting people gifts. And like I said, I consider myself a good gift giver, but gifts are not high up on my list. It is, however, high up on my mom's list. This one I know for sure. Acts of service, I'm assuming, but gifts, I know this is high up on her list. And I'll kind of share a story about that a little later. How I found out or figured out that gifts was high up on my mom's list, but again, those are the five love language. So we have gifts, we have acts of service, we have words of affirmation, we have physical touch, and we have quality time. All five are pretty much a bank where you may like all five, but to a certain extent there's always like two or maybe three that dominate your love language, and therefore that is how you like to receive love. I think it's very important to notice one, this particular guide is built of godly principles, so I love that. And on top of that, it's really a relational tool, to, again, whether you're trying to figure out how to love your spouse, whether you're trying to figure out how to love yourself, whether you're trying to figure out how to love your kids or your parents, or so on and so forth. I feel like this is a great tool, to just be able to communicate, and love on people in general, right? And a big part of the five love languages is the belief that one has a tank, right? Pretty much like a gas tank, but it's a love tank. And that love tank needs filling. So when your love tank is on low, it's because you are not getting, in abundance, the type of love that you require. And when you do get that, you will find yourself more joyful, more happy, because again, that love tank is on full. And we all know that in the same manner we say that hurt people, people who are happy, people who are loved, love on people. So again, I think that is very important. There is a book. I read the book. I love the book. I have the book. And I would definitely suggest you get the book if you want to go deeper. But you can always just start with the test. The test is online. The five love languages. There is a quiz. You can do it. Figure out what your love languages is, and kind of just go from there. But again, I just want to suggest this because I think it's very important to learn what your love language is, and then be able to use this tool to communicate with others. If you are single and you want a certain type of mate, learning what your love language is only equips you to, one, know what you're looking for, and two, realize if you have the capacity to love the person that you may be dating, or so on and so forth, based on what their love language is, right? And then it also causes you to make the adjustment. I know I had to do that with my husband with the words of affirmation. So words of affirmation is not that big on my list, but I am also a very blunt, a very honest and straightforward person, and that can come off offensive. That can hurt people's feelings, and so on and so forth. So now, knowing that words of affirmation is my husband's love language, I am very intentional on how I speak to him, different things I say, and the lack thereof, because that can be offensive too. So for instance, if you're a person that don't compliment, don't care about compliments, so you never get compliments, then if a person needs their tank filled, if they need to be loved on in a way where you notice that they got a new hairstyle, or notice that they got their nails done, and they got your favorite color, and all of these things, and you don't recognize that, you don't acknowledge that, you don't compliment them and things like that, their tank is gonna be on empty. And I know as a woman, the biggest thing is when you're dating a man and everybody else in the street is complimenting you and your own man ain't doing it. Honestly, even though affirmation is not high up on my list, I love, love, love that my husband affirms me all the time. He always tell me how beautiful I am, literally. So with my new little hairstyle, it didn't look like this last night. I had some twists. I looked like silly, y'all. And this man, I got in this bed last night, and this man said, "You so beautiful." And I said, "Thank you, babe. Thank you." Like, okay, but he does. He always affirm me, and I just think it's the most beautiful and sweetest thing ever because, I mean, in that moment, I wasn't feeling cute at all. But, child, when I laid my head on that pillow, my man said I'm cute, and I slept like a queen. You hear me? So, let it do what it do. But again, he is very intentional on affirming me, and it's because that's how he want love in return. So usually, naturally, again, and I mentioned this, we give love in the way we would like to receive love. So, you know, he get the haircut, I'd be like, "Oh Lord, hey man, how you doing? Hey chocolate." I mess with him and stuff. He like it, but at the same time, he be a little taken aback. When I be flirting with him, but I know he like it because that's his love language. So guess what? I'm gonna affirm my man. You hear me? Yes. So that is just again a scenario of how to feel a person love tank. Um, I even again used this with my sister. So one of my sisters, she's in college now and she grown child, but she lived with me for a few years, pretty much high school, her high school years and stuff before she went off to college. And so I realized along the way that affirmation was her love language. So in the same manner that I used it for good, because I will affirm her. I'm so proud of you. You're doing a great job. So on and so forth. Yes, but then when she was in trouble, I was like, I am very disappointed in you. And guess what? That was worse than whooping her. That was worse than whooping her. Why? Because those words have meaning to her. For her to hear me say I'm disappointed in her, that struck something, that hit something, and that's the last thing she wants is for me to be disappointed in her. And so I would notice that that was my way of letting her know, like, I don't have to just with your child when you learn the different things, but you may have a child that you don't have to give whoopings to because you speaking to them will be enough. You letting them know you're disappointed will be enough. Now, some children you gotta whoop their behind. You hear me? Whoop them, child. I ain't against whooping because my children are gonna get whooping, but that's neither here nor there. I'm just saying that, as you learn the love language, you'll really learn how to relate, even to your kids. And so, in the same manner, you can use it for good, you can also use it for bad. Because if you know that a person love language is words, and all you do is tear them down, that's intentional, like verbal abuse, really. If you think about it. But um so back to the story about how I found out that gifts was my mom love language. I would always like feel away because I always felt like my mom would brag pretty much on, oh, my daughter brought me this and my daughter did this and my daughter brought me that, and I would be like, I just don't understand why she always got to tell people what I brought her and stuff. And she would ask for like these extravagant gifts. Literally, my mom would be like, "Oh, for my birthday, I want a 75-inch TV. For Mother's Day, I want a washer and dryer." I'm like, lady, like what? Why? Why? And what kind of gift is this, right? But and so I will buy her something for Mother's Day, or just cause, or whatever the case may be. And literally, girl, your mama told me you brought her blah blah blah, and I'm like, that's not why I brought her that. And so I always felt the way because I felt like she would brag on the things that I brought her. And I'm like, listen, I have other qualities. It's more than, what type of money I got and all this type of stuff. Like, I'm doing this. Now, I'm thinking to myself, I'm doing this because I love you and I know there's something you want, right? I'm not doing this so you can go and tell everybody what I brought you, right? But pretty much after I read this book, I realized that gifts is my mama love language. And so I decided to test it out because again in my mind it was like all these extravagant things. I'm like, I said, well, there's things that I know my mama like. Like it could be small things. My mama love Chips Ahoy cookies. Very simple, but I don't know why. Always did. She love them, right? My mama love a good Coke, baby. When I tell you, I, don't- I don't even. I have never seen my mama drink a bottle of water. Bless the Lord, but she love a good Coke. So simple things like that. So, I stopped at the store. She love a Snicker. Bought a Coke. Brought her a Snicker. Bring a couple things to the house, and I'm like, oh, I was on my way, and I stopped and got you this. My mama cut up like she had never got none before. A Snicker, a Snicker, man. But it just really confirmed that it wasn't what I was buying her. It was the fact that I was filling her love tank by buying her gifts. And so I realized that it's not the what, it's the fact that at that moment I filled her tank. And so because she received that love, she was high on love and she just wanted to tell whoever, whatever, that I had got her. And it really, really changed the dynamics of, you know, that part of our relationship, how I perceived that. And so I was like, you know what? Now, honestly, I don't mind buying my mom or nothing because I don't have that stigma anymore in my mind that yeah, if I buy her this, all she gonna do is call this or they tell me call it. No, feel. Let's just feel her take, and if she want to tell the world, let her tell the world. And so yeah, that was like a real eye opener. And then in return, like when I got married, my mom, listen, my mom was a single mom of 6 kids. And so my mom, she don't got it like that. She she not, just in this financial position to do stuff for us like that. And so, that's understandable and I respect that. So when I was getting married, we went to go look for my wedding dress. And we get to the place. Listen, it was a whole shebang, y'all. I had been looking all over for wedding dress. I told my mama I wasn't going to a million stores. I wasn't trying on a million dresses. I wanted to find a dress, know it was my dress, and be about my business, right? So this particular place in New Orleans was having a sale, pretty much like they had this sale where they was getting rid of the last season dresses and bringing in the new season dresses. And child, I wasn't worried about no seasons. I just wanted my dress. So I was like, oh my, we gonna go to this place. They having this big old sale, right? And we gonna go. So the place opened for 8 o'clock. We got there about going on 7 o'clock. We was the second person in line. We really was the first, but the other people got out the car before us to get in the line. So we end up being the second in line. We out there in the line. They open the doors. They only let 3 people in at a time. We go in. I select about 3 or 4 dresses to try on. I found my dress my first try. I want to say it probably was the second dress I tried on of the 3 or 4 dresses that I selected, but I found my dress and it was a beautiful dress. I remember trying it on and taking it off, trying on the other ones. But honestly, when I first put that dress on, it's like this feeling of I know this is it, right? But then I was like, let me try on the other dresses, and then I remember trying on the other dresses, taking them off, and I was like, let me try this one on again. And when I put it on the second time, my mom was like, this the one, huh? I was like, yes, this is the one. I love this dress. It was a perfect fit. I didn't have to get no adjustments or whatever. I only had to get my straps adjusted, but the straps was a little long. But aside from that, it was like perfect, made for me, right? So we go. to check out, and the lady was like, "Oh my goodness, you." This is the owner of the boutique. The lady was like, she was like, "Oh my goodness," she was like, "You got the dress that I'm more than sure all of these girls that's in the line waiting to get in came for, and you got this dress." She was like, "This is the best dress out of all of these dresses, that we getting rid of today." And I was like, "Oh wow," that was so exciting. And so we go to check out, and I go to the thing to pay, and my mom was like, "I got it." I was like, "What?" She was like, "I got it." I'm like, "Ma, you know how much your dress is, right?" And so right under 2K. And she was like, "Yeah." She said, "Babe, I got my taxes." She said, "And I ain't tell nobody. I held on to my tax money so that I could buy you this dress." And I was like, "Oh my God." We was crying. The lady, the owner, she tearing up, whatever. And I was like, "That is so sweet." She was like, "No, you my first child and my first oldest daughter to get married, and I really wanted to buy you a dress." And I was like, "Thank you so much." So, you know, even think about all the things that I brought my mom, all these gifts that I done brought her over time, and how she would brag about all this stuff I done brought her and all this stuff. Like at that moment, she she loved on me in a manner that she received love. My mama gifted me with my wedding dress, and I mean, to this day, honestly, it is like one of the most beautiful moments we've shared together. And of course, aside from me walking down the aisle, but you know we had together, and that she just, yeah, I would never ever forget that. And like I said, more so because my mom, she just not in position to do that, but she made it her business to do so, and the Lord, granted her heart's desire and put her in position to do so. And so I am very grateful for that. But yeah, so yeah, at that moment she filled my tank, baby. Gifts ain't mean nothing to me, but it was, I mean, in that moment, it was everything, really. And of course, it had such a huge meaning and symbolism behind it. So, it worked out. But yeah, I wanted to share that because, and then because I know these things that I'm talking about, the love language, it helps me to appreciate, so much more of, even when a person take the time to love you in a manner that they would like to receive love. So I just wanted to share that story. And I mean, there's minimal instances out, honestly, because of course, in most of these scenarios, I've talked about my husband and my siblings and my mom. But even on my job, so I've been in management probably about 5 years, 5 or 6 years now. And with that, you have a whole team of people, and you have to learn how to deal with all those personalities. Do you know that I apply the same principles even to my staff? And it will help me to, one, acknowledge their gifts. It will help me to recognize their talents. It will help me to, just show them appreciation in certain ways. I had employees that I knew for a fact words of affirmation was their love language. So I would handwrite appreciation notes to my staff members. Um, for most people, it probably wouldn't mean anything, but I knew. Now I did it for everybody, but I knew those particular people it would have a bigger and broader effect on. I would list particular things about them, their gifts, how hard they work, whether they had teamwork, whether they were dependable, or whatever the case may be. Words of affirmation, I will build, those team members up. Whether it was gifts, I would find little things that's particular to them that I know that they like, whether it's different snacks that they brought in to work, for lunch, or whether it was something they talked about, like when they would talk about their house. If I know they like, if they I know they have a garden, if I know that they are into different little trinkets and things like that, just being mindful of that stuff, to be able to speak to the thing that you know fill the tank of another person. And like I said, this applies in every area of your life. So I definitely wanted to come on here today and to talk about that, so that you can take these things and associate it and learn how to love, and also think about yourself. Think about, take the test for sure, but think about, what it is you like and why it is you like those things, and learn how to then navigate all of those additional relationships based off these five things. And I'm telling you, it can make a world of difference. Now, this is why acts of service is not high on my list. So I am the type of person that I like things done a certain way. My husband can attest to this. My siblings can attest to this. And my mama can attest to this. I am very particular in the way I like things done. So, because of that, I don't ask people to do stuff for me. And I don't require people to do stuff for me, because you can do it for me and assume you're doing me a favor, but most likely I'm gonna either have to redo it, or I'm not really gonna be satisfied with the way you did it. So I don't, like, if I need something done, I will just take care of it myself, right? For the most part, because this is the way I am. I know this about myself. So because I'm like that, I would assume that other people was like that. So I've never been one to just do something for a person. Like, for instance, say you got a box and you like, oh, I need to go bring this to the mail. I need to go send this box off. I need to go send this box. You could say that, and it's just gone. Now, a active service person will take the box and go and bring it to the post office for you. That is not my response, because again, I just do stuff for myself, right? So I don't just naturally do stuff for people because I feel like I'm overstepping. I feel like if I just do something for you, what if you don't like it? What if you wanted it done this way? What if you didn't want nobody to mess with it? Because that's how I am, right? So I project that need to have things done a certain way onto other people, and that's what happened in the case with my ex. Love, this exercise was his love language, but I wasn't doing things he thought I should be doing for him. So this what I mean by the intentional part. You may find, and this is a perfect example, you may find that your partner, your child, your parent, your sibling, whatever, have a love language that doesn't come easy or natural to you. Then you have to become intentional. You have to become intentional about how to love that person through what is not natural to you, right? So easy peasy. They have some people that hate being touched. So if physical touch is your love language, and then you all over your mate, and they like, bruh, back up off me, right? You love quality time, and they like, listen, I just need some time to myself. They may consider you needy because you just want to be in this space, and they like, look, bro, back up. You back up. Give me a moment. So you may run into, some of those issues, or you may, again, by finding out these things, you may realize, oh, this why they act like this, and this why they feel like this, because physical touch is not their love language, and I'm always jumping in their lap. So you really find out a lot, again, by these five little simple things. So again, I just suggest that you take the test. I suggest that if you want to go deeper, definitely read the book, and just be able to kind of apply these things to your life. The thing about relationship, you have, especially marriage, you have somebody who then becomes a mirror to you. So this person sees you in this intimate state. They see you when you wake up in the morning. They see you when you go to sleep at night. They see you all the time, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And so they begin to be a mirror to you to say, this part of you is jacked up. this part of you is so beautiful. How come you never knew this about yourself? Do you know that you like to twirl your hair when you eating? And then you be like, I didn't realize I do that. So these, in marriage, your spouse become a mirror to you. So kind of knowing how you take advice and criticism matters, because it will affect your communication, especially in marriage. And I am gonna end it here, but definitely come back next week because we're gonna be talking about some more stuff. All right. So I will see y'all next time. Love ya.